Hello, everybody, and welcome to Improve with Apollo, episode number 13, Heart of the Swarm edition. This is my first Heart of the Swarm video, or educational video, should I say, as I did do the King of the Hill tournament series a couple of weeks ago. But now it's time to start learning and teaching and finding all cool things about Heart of the Swarm within this series. And not only this series, I will be making a lot more videos, map analysis, tutorials will be coming back, and other educational focused videos as well. So definitely stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you know when all these goody videos will be coming your way. But going back on to today, I have a Silver League Zerg player that I want to help out today. And he's our first participant of Improve with Apollo. It's going to be done almost daily, every other day, and I'll be trying to put out as much as I can to make sure that you guys improve. To summarize, what I'm looking to do is get you guys out of the league you're currently in, see your own mistakes, see them unfold in front of your very own eyes, and then hopefully you can continue from this point to start to improve yourself from within. And that's my goal here. So going on to day 1, or episode 13, day 1 of Heart of the Swarm, episode 13 in general, we have a Zerg player that I want to help out. And this is the email that he sent in. So he's used the format that I asked to use before. So Tyler Young is going to be the guy today. He's 23 years old from Canada and is a Silver League Zerg player. I chose Zerg today because StarTale Life just won MLG. And I thought it would be cool to do a Zerg episode to help out Zerg players who want to aspire to be just as good as he can be, maybe one day. So let's go back and read the email again. So, hello Apollo, I've been playing StarCraft on and off for about 2 years. I can't get higher than gold. I feel like I can do so much better, but I'm having a lot of trouble adapting to Heart of the Swarm. I'm having a lot of trouble finding any direction in my matchups at the moment. I feel overwhelmed most of the game and basically just wing a lot of my timings, not really understanding why it is I'm placing them down at the time I am. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that's probably a lot of people out there, which is why hopefully you can learn from this if you're not Tyler Young. So going back over here, we have, I typically go 15 hatch and 15 spawning pool and look to take an early third if I don't scout aggression. Other than that, I don't understand my gas timings, and my unit composition changes every game, and I don't know when I should be getting upgrades or even if I should be. So, reading this email, before I actually recorded this, I wrote down these 3 big things that you talk about: gas timings, unit composition, and upgrades. And this is, of course, something that comes a little bit later in the email. So let's just continue reading on from here. The game I'm sending you was the one I just played, and it's chock full of uncertainty. I would greatly appreciate if you could maybe consolidate some of my play so I can actually aim for something in the matchups, especially versus Protoss. For example, in this game, it was the first time using Vipers. I'm not sure how to get them or use them right or cost efficiently, as he says. So now you go on talking about, Viper usage, Swarmhost usage, and should I use Infested or not. This is something that I don't really want to focus too much on today, because I feel that this is something that you'll just get used to. I think there's going to be a lot of other mistakes which I'll see, and then once these mistakes are corrected, then you can make the choice of units, for example. So let's just go back into the email one more time here, and we see that you say, one more thing I've noticed versus basically every Protoss, I scout 4 to 5 gateways right around the time they expand to the natural. So I'm guessing this is after they expand. So something like a gateway expansion and then added on a couple of other gateways behind it. Sometimes it means Century Stalker Immortal, which ends up killing me early, or my early. I guess you mean early third. But others, they just grab a third themselves. It's really confusing to me when I scout it, because I don't know whether to expand or make units. And I've wrote this down here, as you can see, scouting. 4 to 5 games, that's meant to be gateways. Gateways means attacker expanding. So we'll actually talk about that in the replay when we get into it in a couple of moments' time. So I've kind of grabbed a couple of things that you've wrote down. If we look just down here once again, gas timings, unit composition, upgrades. Unit composition is up to you. It's up to you. Like, what do you want to play? What style do you want to play? Do you want to go Zergling heavy, Roach Hydra, Swarmhost Hydra against Protoss? This is, it's up to you. You choose what style you want to play, and then work around it. Don't go into it being like, what best should I use? Because anything's possible. Mutalisks are fine to use as well against Protoss. And in Silver League, it really doesn't matter what unit composition you make, as long as you're making a lot of them and you're not making the fundamental mistakes. So that's something that I'm going to, slightly eliminate already as a worry here, is just unit composition. So I'm actually just going to get rid of this for now. and then just focus on gas timings and upgrades, which are going to be interesting to talk about. So what I want to do now is actually jump into the game, or the replay that you've sent me. So thank you for sending in your replay, and I'll see what I can find in this. So here we are into the replay. I'm going to play it. So the things I'm already, or if you haven't seen how I break down players' games, is that I'm going to watch it through your eyes, see what you see, and not what's going on. So we can even turn off the production tab for now, just to be like, all right, this is... I'd like to put myself in your position if it was my hands on the mouse and keyboard as you're playing. So we'll just fast forward past the early stages a little bit here, just because it's obviously building drones and overlords. And the first thing I can already start to note up is this overlord is going in a bit of a funky position. It's going diagonal across the map towards his main base. For me personally... as you see the probe coming in. For me personally, I'm just going to pause it here. This overlord, I always like to put it like straight up. So instead of going diagonal, I'd send it up towards my opponent's natural, which you know is going to be here. For anybody that doesn't know, it's always cross position. So your opponent's always spawning in this green box, and I know that he's going to expand here. So my first overlord is always going to go around within this green box to check if he's expanded or not, and then to like put it on the top here or just behind the gases. Because what will happen if you don't do this, this overlord will probably stay on the left-hand side of his main base. And sure, it's always good to have an overlord and like outside of his main base to go in and scout, but what happens if you want to see his gas timings? What happens if you want to see whether he's thrown down structures around his natural or poke in to see his unit composition? And I think that's a very important thing to focus on here. Another thing is that you've gone hatchery first, Tyler. Against Protoss, I wouldn't recommend it. I just recommend going spawning pool first. This is just a very simple thing to do. Spawning pool first offers that gives you the option to build Zerglings very early. Hatchery first, you're open up to cannon rushes. You're opened up to, for example, if they do go gateway expand, they can chrono boost zealots and stalkers at you really, really early. And that's actually kind of dangerous and difficult to deal with. And it's much, much easier if you already have queens out and Zerglings out too. With your drone, you go in, and you see a gateway expand. So we're already starting... You mentioned in the email. So you mentioned in the email that one of the things that you wanted to talk about and understand was gas timings. This is actually a really big gas timing for you to think about. Upon seeing a gateway expansion, as we're seeing in this game, what does this mean for you? When are you going to take gases? For me, it's now. Like, this is the perfect time for you to take a gas. Because... he obviously can be very aggressive with this. He could chrono boost. He's got 81 chrono boost, and these are the small things that you need to look at, Tyler. He's got 81 chrono boost. What happens if he chrono boosts his double zealots? Like, gets one zealot, and then chrono boosts a second one, and then as the cybernetics core finishes, chrono boosts his stalker. And then you're actually, in a little bit of a bad position because you don't have Zerglings or queens out yet. And with your drone leaving, you don't know. You haven't checked his gas if he's going to take a second gas either. So this is already starting to become a bit dangerous for you. And this is how you want to be playing Heart of the Swarm Zerg style, is a lot more reactionary. So you're reacting to the fact that he's gone Gateway and Cybercore. He's actually approaching 100 chrono boosts his Nexus. This is, like I said, something you should be wanting to focus on. Why is it at 100? Where is that energy going to go? Is it into like 3 Stalkers in a row? Instead of going for like double zealots now because he hasn't chrono boosted the gateway, does it now mean that he's going to chrono boost 3 times into a gateway and pump out stalkers? And if that's true, all right, I'm going to be honest, Tyler. The way that you've opened this up with your hatchery first, if we look at it, I think if this was me in the Protoss player's shoes, if I chrono boosted out 3 to 4 stalkers, I could beat you right now because you don't have anything. Sure, you'll have a queen. You don't have gases, so you're not going to have Zergling speed, and you don't really have any Zerglings either, if we look at the production tab. So you could actually die already in this game, and it's not even the 4-minute mark. So, something to think about. Something else I do see as well, which I just want to rewind since I've actually poked and saw it, is that you've overbuilt in overlords a little bit here. So I just want to focus on what you build. So... if we just fast forward it here, I'm looking at the production tab, 1 overlord. So this 1 overlord being built right now will push you up to 26 potential supply. And there's another one. So you built another overlord here for no reason at all. And that's 100 minerals just wasted. That could be a spine crawler. It could be a 3rd queen. It could be money to build the gases. So a little bit of a mistake building that other overlord, which isn't necessary. And as you'll see, when it actually pops out, you have 26 potential supply, and then all of a sudden, you've got 34. So you've got a little bit too much potential supply there, because you're not really going to be spending all that supply with the minimal lava you have. You've got, one lava in the main, and none on the natural yet. So just something to think about. All right, so let's just go back into what we were looking at with his chrono boost, with his potential plans and what he could do, and so on. So he's chrono boosting into the cybernetics core, and this is something you've actually picked up. Despite I wouldn't have had this overload there, I would have had it on the natural, and this overload on your natural, as soon as the threat of cannon rush is gone, is already going towards his main base, already going to where your overload is. A second gas has come down. What does this mean for you? What we need to be doing is building Zerglings, which you are building, to see, is he expanding or not? Is he going to throw down additional gateways? Because you don't know. Is he going to chrono boost in the cybernetics core again? This overlord is open to being killed by a stalker as well, so that's something you want to keep in mind. And you do pick off this pro, but these Zerglings, you need to get out of here. You're starting to bank a bit of money, and you either need to... It's a mistake. I'm going to put it that way. It's a mistake that you haven't taken your gases yet against someone that's gone gateway opening, because you could very easily, as mentioned, die to a gateway attack, and you need Zergling speed to defend. It's maybe a mistake that you don't have a spine crawler down, because his opening is actually rather aggressive. It's an aggressive, potential aggressive opening, because not only does it offer gateway unit attacks, it also offers Stargate builds, Twilight builds, Robo builds. I don't know what happens in Silver League. So all of this could mean aggression, because he's got much faster technology in this game, because he didn't expand as usual like a Forge expand or Nexus. So going back into this game once again, another mistake I've seen, and you can see it here, is why have you decided to waypoint your natural Nexus into your main? In your main, you're already, pretty much at 16 drones, which is where you don't want to have any more drones there. You want to be focused on saturating the natural for ultimate saturation. If you don't understand saturation, I'll just go over it for people that may not, is that 16 drones is about, on the borderline between too few and too many. So if you have 16, you're getting a really solid income, and then you want to be focusing on getting exactly the same on the natural, and then maybe you can throw in a couple more drones. Because if you look here, on this mineral line here, see this green box? 2 drones is perfect, right? Because it's like just mining, off, and so. But, for example, on the further away patches, it's not quite as clean. So even though, if you look at all the mineral fields that we have, 8, if all patches were close to the hatchery like this, optimally, we would have 16 drones. But because there's further away patches, for example, these 2 within the green box, you may want to sprinkle a couple more drones in there to make sure that it's clean, that your drones are always mining at one point. So I definitely think it's a bit of a mistake having the hatchery waypointed into the main base too. All right, so... another thing I would recommend as well, Tyler, is building 4 Zerglings instead of 2, because you could have another Zergling on this Zelnaga tower, another Zergling behind his 3rd base, and this one should absolutely be looking to see if he's expanding. It's something you have to be doing. If you don't have an overlord there, you need to know, has he got 4 gateways down? Because a regular 4 gate, with a good chrono boost, hits at 5:45 to 6 minutes. If that happens in this game, which you don't know, you've got no confirmation on whether that happens or not, just an old build, an old 4-gate build you'd know from Wings of Liberty, you would be dead in about 30 seconds time. But you do, fortunately, find out that he has got a Nexus down. And you even get a Zergling in to have a look at scouting. So I do notice that you do have 600 minerals in the bank. Do not think I didn't see that, Tyler. I saw it. I saw it. As soon as those overalls pop, you best be spending that money. And you see nothing been added on here, which is a little bit weird, considering he's got, it's 6 minutes in the game. Where's his tech? He's got a fast, cybernetics core. Where's his tech? So immediately upon losing that Zergling, sorry, I would send in your overlord. Send your overlord in, and to have a look at what potentially could be there. Meanwhile, back at home, you've got 4 drones being built, but you have 4 lava to spend. I don't know if you're waiting to build lings or not, but this is drones. Like, on top, drones. Get rid of your lava. Never have lava idle. The faster you become at that, the stronger a player you'll become, just because you're spending your money. Your gases, like I said earlier, is a mistake that should have been sorted out earlier on. But you have now corrected your waypointing of drones. If you look at it, you 16 drones. Good. Good. So you did understand it. You just didn't quite, do it at the start of the game. This third hatchery in your main base is fine, but to be honest, upon taking his Nexus natural here, the third base might as well be on your third. I mean, the third hatchery might as well be on the third, right? Simple Zerg rules. Whenever your opponent expands, you usually want to be, like expanding yourself. Depending on your composition, your style, we talked about before. So I scratched my nose on camera. It depends on how you want to play this out. Are you going Roach heavy, Hydra heavy, Swarm host, Ling heavy? Whatever it is, +1 attack needs to be researched if it's going to be Roach, Hydra, Swarm host. So whatever option style you want to play, you get +1 attack here. Like, that's a given. But you've mismanaged your gas a little bit. You've gone up to layer. And this is all because your gas was really late in this game. Taking double gas at 6 minutes, I think you did, was a bit of a mistake. Because, like I said, aggression, could have come early. You don't get in the gas straight away. So even though you got the gas down, look, you only get in there to 6:25-ish. Into the other one at 6:30. So really, really late there. And so even if you want to upgrade, you can't. And if you want to go layer, you can, but you can't build roaches. So it's a little bit mismanaged. Just try to get your gas down, like, on time, or at least a minute before you want to build upgrades and roach warrant. So, for example, if you wanted to build roaches at 7 minutes, or build a roach warrant at 7 minutes, make sure you're in gas at 6 minutes. Just 1 minute little buy time there for you to actually bank enough gas to be able to do what you want. Meanwhile, we haven't really figured out what he's doing, which is, a bit of a mistake as well. Obviously, need to be on top of the game. Those Zerglings, which I said could have been helpful before, could have been down here, checking his third. Could have been over here. Want to be on the Selnoga Tower to see if units are coming down this way. Look on the minimap. If units walk down this way, you see nothing. So you're a little bit blind. And here is your information in this game. A little bit later than I would have liked. Would have liked to go in straight after that Zergling, but you do get in here. And what we see is 3 gateways, Twilight Council, and Robo. So upon seeing this, I'm okay with realizing that he's not attacking me. A Twilight Council coming down means that at 8 minutes as well, that he absolutely will want to continue to upgrade, not to attack. If this was another gateway, I'd be worried. But because it's a Twilight Council, we know that he wants to play later on. I'd still want to be on top of, getting a third base. And that's to answer your email. If we actually just hold this for a second and bring up your email one more time here. So if you look at your email, you say scouting. You see 4 to 5 gateways. Doesn't mean attack or expanding. Very, very simple here. If we go into the game and kind of think about what you've just seen and put it into what you were thinking when you wrote the email. You've seen 3 gateways, 4 gateways maybe here. Yes, 4 gateways, right? And this obviously could mean... Oh, wait, what do you see? 5 gateways. All right, so perfect example. You've now seen 5 gateways, a Robo, and a Twilight Council. For me, when I see this, it's not attack. There's a potential slight aggression, but it's not heavy. It's not a heavy attack coming in because the Twilight Council's there. He wants to continue to upgrade. You don't really see attacks that involve Immortals and Blink all at the same time. It's not so common. But one thing to make sure you know what the hell is going on at all points is having something on his third base. On his third base will let you identify whether he is expanding or not. For example, let's have a look in his vision. Whether he attacks now, sure, he could have light aggression because, yes, he does have 5 gateways, right? He could just warp in more units and go. He's researching Blake. Sure, he could walk across the map and go attack you. But that's what having the Zelnoga Towers is for. That's what having a Zergling here could be for. And then as soon as he moves down, you start building units. As soon as this guy comes down that ramp and crosses paths with the Zergling, you start building your army. But if you have a Zergling on his third base... This is when you clearly, continue to drone. Because right now, coming to 9 minutes 30, if you did have a Zergling there, I'd be saying to myself, I'd love to be able to drone, but I think he could attack me because he hasn't taken a third base yet. And then the longer it goes on, and if you were looking like this, let's have a look. If this was you and you didn't see anything, you're like, well, 10 minutes, not coming. 10 minutes, 11 minutes, not coming. Okay, build units, obviously. So in your unit tab, in your drone tab, you've got 10 drones being built. But why? Why, Tyler? Tell me why. What's the reason behind doing that? And don't tell me that you know he wasn't going to expand. It's not true. You didn't know, Tyler. There has to be a logical reason for every move you make. The upgrades coming in is fine. You know, going 1-1. If you go in Roach Hydra is great. But those drones you just made, or even, I want to rewind it a minute, because I see a lot of Zerglings out. Alright, so let me just have a look. First of all, why are these 2 spine crawlers coming down? What's the reason? Is it because you know he's not expanding, but you don't? Let's go ahead and just see what units you build. 3 overseers and 22 lings. Why 22 lings? What happens if he's expanded? Are you going to pressure with those 22 lings, or would you prefer to be at 55 to 60 drones? Where are those 3 overseers? 1, 2. Oh, there's an observer there, but I don't know why you built the overseers so close. Unless you're worried about DTs, of course, but you shouldn't be worried about DTs at all. It's not a DT rush or anything. And the reason why it's not a DT rush, because you scouted this Twilight Council coming down, and it's so late for a DT rush. It can't be. It's just too late. It's always good to be safe than sorry, so a Spore Crawler would be nice, but 3 overseers may not. And then let's go back to those drones. So you built these lings, but why? You got 2 spine crawlers, but why? If you're worried about defense, why did you build 10 drones? So like there has to be a reason behind it, and that reason, even though it may sound complicated, all is due to scouting. It's what you can see, what you can scout. And if we look on the map, you've got nothing. You don't have the Zalnaga towers. You don't have vision on his 3rd base, and if we reveal it, he's expanding. So what do you do now? Do you build drones? Do you build units? And the main reason that I'm seeing of your play is just lack of scouting here. Lack of reacting. You're playing the reactionary race here. If you watch any pro level game, you'll always see them scouting the 3rd base as it goes down, scouting the nexus on the natural as it goes down, seeing the army move out as it moves out. And with that kind of knowledge, you're able to build up a really solid image of what your opponent's doing. And in this game, I just want to, really emphasize this, because this is, coming to the conclusion of what's going wrong for you. If we just go from the 4 minutes in your vision, I want you to just look at the minimap and what you've seen. All the way up to that 12-minute mark, all right? So you've seen 1 gateway. Now what? 1 gateway, 1 gas. You figured out he's expanded. Now what? Always need to be on top. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? Has he got a fast 3rd? It's possible. It's possible. And here you go and you do scout. So now you've scouted this. This is the first information coming in. And you see 3 gateways, 4 to 5 gateways on the natural with tech behind it. And now, even though you've got that info, the next part of scouting, the next way that you scout is to keep both Zalnaga towers, because you'd obviously like to know if he moves out with his army. To have a Zergling that pokes up and down, checking his army composition. So if we just come down here and go, pretend we're a Zergling. Oh, I see sentries, I see stalkers, and then you run away. If we just rewind it and do that a bit more smoother, you can poke up and you see an army, and you see, okay, a few sentry stalkers, okay, back off. And then like in 30 seconds time, you go up again, and what you see, you go up, and you go, oh, okay, same army. So what's he doing with his money? And because it's the same army, right? And then 30 seconds time again, you go up again, you go, same army, okay, same army. And that means that he's obviously, either hiding an army, which he's not, or he obviously wants to expand or throw down more gateways. And then if you think about, having a brother Zergling that was over here, and if we do this for you, let's just rewind to the same place that we did the Zergling act just now. All right, so let's go ahead and pretend we're a Zergling again, and do it over here. So you're a Zergling behind the mineral line, and you're looking, and you go, is he expanded? No. Okay, no. And then 20 seconds time, if we fast forward it, how's it expanded? Oh, no, still not. No. And then 30 seconds more, has he expanded? No, not yet, because that's hallucination. Your Zergling wouldn't see it. And then you go, has he expanded? Oh god, he's expanded. Okay, he's expanded. So pro Zergling. So that's the way that you want to be scouting, right? You always want to be on top of it like that. And if you can be on top of it, then you're able to figure out what's going on. So those are the big points that I see with your game. And there's a lot of decisions that you made, if we look in the game again, a lot of decisions that you made were based on no information at all. And that's... And I just actually want to, load up your email once again here. So give me 1 second while I load it up. Your email here. There was... sometimes it means this, sometimes it means that. You don't really know what to do. How do I aim for something in my game? And so on and so on. What do you say here? Other than that, I don't understand my gas timings. All this stuff comes down to scouting. Because then you build gas, you build an army, you build drones, depending on what you see. And that seems to be the biggest problem with your games. Here, Tyler. So I don't want to harp on anymore, as it is dragging out quite a lot. And all the other mistakes from here, if we actually jump into your replay once again, from the 12-minute mark, or we just fast forward it here, from this point with everyone's view, from here on out, a lot of the game doesn't necessarily make sense to me anymore, because you're at 62 drones, but why are you building Hydras here? I think it would have played out a lot differently if you'd played it out very similar in the early stages. You would have got Zergling speed early to deal with the gateway expand. You would have been on top of things and so on. But overall, it's not terrible. It just needs a lot of work when it comes to scouting. And from here, if you look in your vision again, you still haven't figured out if he's expanded or not. And it looks like you just built an army to build an army because you don't know what's going on. And then as you figure out he's expanded, it's very late. You figured out. If you look at the the mineral patches have been mined, a couple of hundred already. He's already got a wall off, and this is where you make the next move to attack or move through, right? You now go up to 200 supply, you get your Vipers, and you go attack. But that was a very late reaction, and from here on out, the game plays out, and it becomes a lot sloppier as the game goes on because mistakes that are made throughout the game. I hope you enjoyed me breaking down your game. I think it was quite a long video, longer than I usually do, but there was quite a few things I wanted to break down for you. And I hope that other Zerg players as well as you, Tyler, can learn from this, learn from your mistakes, and improve on from this position. So thanks for watching this video, Improve with Apollo episode number 13. And if there's any follow-up questions, Tyler, that you have, be sure to email me. I'll be emailing you a few notes just to kind of push you in the right direction a little bit further to reinforce these points with the video. But if there's anything you want to do, just email me again. And if you guys want to submit your own replays, your own games for me to look at and break down, then please go ahead and send them my way. So it's it's improvewithapollo@gmail.com. Check the announcement video on how to send it, what you need to do. And until next time, I'm seeing you later on.